My daddy, all he let me listen to was old school music and gospel music. And there's a few things I realized about gospel music too, man. Like, you ever listen to some of them old school gospel songs? Them old school gospel songs, they was interesting because every song, they was ready to die. That's all they sang about was dying and going to heaven. And every song. Like, you turn on the old school greatest hit CD, all you hear is, I'm going up yonder. Next song, I'm going away. Next song, soon we'll be done with the troubles of the world, going home to live with God. Like, you ain't got nothing to do tomorrow? Like, that's all you want to do is die? You just want to wake up and die. That's your agenda for today. Like, let me wake up so I can go to heaven. That's all I want to do. It don't make no sense.
Greetings and what up, though? It's your boy Jason Jamerson, and welcome to the Jason Jamerson Podcast. With me, as always, is my man Hunter Graham, my cousin, my man Kev BJ, who just muted himself by mistake. So I'm gonna unmute him. Your mic got disconnected. That's why. There you go. What's going on, Kev?
What up, though, cuz? How you doing today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I am fantastic. You know, I just was trying to upload a video for a new intro because I know these people are tired of watching me either do gospel Sada Baby or talking about gospel music. So, you know, I'm gonna get y'all. I promise, I'm gonna get y'all a new intro video. I might make an intro song. You know what I'm saying? Myself. Might do it myself. We shall see. Okay. We shall see. But what's going on? What happened over the weekend with you?
Yeah, bro. So over the weekend, I went to a wedding up in Grand Rapids. It was nice. Weather was good. You know, I've only been to Grand Rapids a couple of times, but it's a nice little vibe. You know, nice little downtown. Food is good. Decent cocktail bars. You can go on little hikes and stuff like that. So it's all around a good time for me. So I definitely enjoyed that. And then, hey man, I had some venison, some corn venison this weekend as well. Something I've never had. And if y'all don't know what venison is deer meat. That's just the word they go for it. I don't know the history behind it, but they corned it, and so you know, essentially like a corned beef type situation. It was very good. And, you know, I'm typically not a venison person, although I do like the jerky. But most of the other venison dishes I've had, just a little bit of a gamier taste to it. But this corn venison was banging. Put me to sleep, had the itis afterwards. So overall, I would say it was a pretty successful weekend eating wise for sure.
Yeah, it's always funny to me. I get it now, but it's always funny to me when people describe food as gamey. Like it's real gamey. I'm like, I didn't know what that meant, but it was. Whenever my dad used to get venison, it used to be like it had like a little spice to it. I don't know if he cooked it that way or if it's just naturally a little spicier, because you know it's deer meat or whatever. I don't know why deers would be spicy, just naturally a spicy animal. But no, yeah. Yeah, no, did you ever see that movie, The 5-Year Engagement? It was, what's his name?
Who's in that?
Jason, the dude from How I Met Your Mother. The dude from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Those are movies I've only watched once ever, and I didn't plan on watching again.
That is funny. Did you see when they remade the Muppets? Why am I blanking on this dude's name? His name is Jason. It's Jason something. I can't remember his name. But he had a movie called The 5-Year Engagement, where him and his fiance moved to Michigan because she got a job at U of M. Okay. And like they were just making, because apparently venison is like a Midwest / Michigan thing. Okay. And they were kind of making jokes about it. And they were just like him getting acclimated to living in Michigan was just him going hunting and just making all kinds of different kinds of venison. And it was like the same way Bubba was doing the different shrimps. He was doing the different venison. It was funny. Venison and honey. Those are the two things that he kept making. Venison and honey. Okay. It was funny.
Venison and honey.
But yeah. So man, my weekend. My weekend, man, it was jam packed. I was telling people I did this weekend. I'm like, dang, I did a lot of stuff this weekend. How did I fit the time in? Because I watched a few movies. I watched The Suicide Squad on HBO Max. That was pretty good. They did it right. It was better than the first one. That once again is a superhero movie or a super villain movie technically. But so I watched that with my daughter. There's a new movie out on Netflix called Vivo, where it's like a singing rapping monkey. Well, it's a Kikachu. Okay. It just looks like a monkey. And them songs was banging. Like that monkey was spitting. And so, I would definitely, if you got, if you ever around any children you can watch it yourself if you just like watching family movies by yourself or whatever. But if you ever around any children, have any children at the crib or anything like that, I definitely suggest turning that on. Okay. I had a comedy show last night at the 3-1. Shout out to the 313 comedy show. It ended up turning out very well, but they asked me Saturday night, and I didn't get the flyer till Sunday morning, and the show was Sunday evening. So I was like, and when I look, usually they have multiple people on the flyer. I was literally the only person on the flyer. So I'm like, so I guess this is my show. But some other comedians showed up. I did my thing. It was pretty good. It was pretty fun. And yeah, man, just getting acclimated to. You said what?
Where was the venue?
The Detroit Shipping Company. I don't know if you've been down there.
Okay. Yeah, I that place. Okay.
Yes, sir. And one thing I didn't like about it is the fact that they let people bring their dogs in, and there's like so much food, and like people was letting their dogs walk on the table and stuff like that. And I'm just, first of all, I just don't trust dogs because you know me, I'm black, so we naturally don't trust strangers' dogs, especially when the first thing the stranger says is he ain't gonna bite, because that's exactly what they say right before the dog bites you. So there's a dude came in there with German Shepherd talking about, he ain't no bite, he ain't gonna bite. I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm not messing with that dog. But the show was dope though. The show was dope. And then man, I just getting acclimated to the new gym and whatnot still. Clients coming in like crazy. So when you come back, we gotta get this workout in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I'm always down and ready. Don't kill me. I still need to walk the next day. You know what I mean? But I'm down. Definitely down.
Let's do it then. Let's do it. But yeah, man. Oh, the Olympics ended over the weekend.
Yeah, man. I think that's bittersweet for me. Over the last few weeks, that's all I've been watching to kind of keep as white noise, keeps me busy watching things, stay tuned. I definitely enjoy watching some of the 50 plus kind of sporting events that they had going on. Getting to know some of the athletes from not only the USA, but from just all over the world, understanding their stories, their plights, and being able to be a cheerleader for different people and different movements for sure. So a little sad it's over, but I will say the Paralympics will be starting as well. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with the Paralympics, it's the Olympics for those who may not have the same abilities as everyone else within the Olympics. And so they have sprinting events, throwing events, they have gymnastics, some racing, they'll have basketball, all those different events. And so these are elite athletes as well who will be representing their country and sharing their stories as well. So I'll definitely be tuning into that too.
Yeah. I barely watched any of the regular Olympics. I was watching it. We had it on, at the gym while stuff was going on. There's a lot of sports that I didn't even realize were in the Olympics. I did not know they put 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm like, where did they go scouting for these players? Because if it wasn't that, like, it's this Rucker Park, Joe D, or somewhere else, like, those are the places you need to go. They're 3-on-3 champions already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, from what I saw, though, a lot of the people, at least I only watched 3-on-3 basketball for women, and those were WNBA players. Maybe one college player potentially was on the roster, but I saw WNBA players repping and doing their thing. And then they also had 5-on-5, so I don't know how the teams were split or managed or whatever, but I was impressed.
Yeah. I didn't get to see any of the US 3-on-3 basketball.
Okay.
But I saw it was a whole lot of it almost seemed like every play was just pick and slide until
Fundamental
somebody,
basketball.
you know,
Yeah.
super fundamental basketball. Like nobody decided there was no ISO. No ISO. It was just, you know, yeah. And then I saw another game, I think it was handball.
Yeah, that's cold. I like that. That's cold.
I was like, what is this? Hey, that joke was amazing to me. Because it threw me off because like right before it was water polo. And then it came on right after that. I said, where did the pool go? Like they playing water polo on land? Like, is this just regular polo? But I'm like, no, polo on horses. Like, what is this? But no, that joke was lit.
Yeah, it was lit. You know what I liked about it too? It kind of had a little bit of a rugby feel to it because you had to they were like bruising to one another. And then also they kind of dribble too. I wasn't sure about the rules, how many steps they had. It looked as though they may have had 2 to 3 steps with a dribble or something like that. So getting in the lane, they basically Euro stepped in and then threw it in soccer net. It's kind of like how I would describe it. I enjoyed it for the time I was able to watch it. It was cool to watch. You know, if we were doing handball in the city, I feel like we could get some athletes out there for sure.
Let's do it, man. That's one of my favorite parts of watching the Olympics, watching sports I've never seen before and making up the rules in my head because I have no idea what the real rules are. I'm like, hold on, now that's double dribble. You can't pick that up. They just throw out any rule, any violation from any sport. Like throw the flag, ref. It's offsides and double dribble. But yeah, speaking of double dribble though, the U.S. men's team silenced a lot of doubters and won the gold medal in basketball.
Were you a doubter? I heard you talk a little trash earlier on the podcast a couple of episodes ago.
You know what?
So
I wasn't sure if I was a doubter or not, but I knew that they was in trouble. I said they were in trouble because I said, wow, they had too many good players to not be winning. And they had lost all the exhibition games. I'm like, what is going on here?
Okay.
I'm like they had like the all-star team of all-star teams for the Olympics. So
okay. Well, my guy Draymond Green will have some words for you. Got a few tweets out there for you as well. I've seen Kevin Durant post a few videos. He did everything but at you. You know what I mean? So
I need him to at me, man. Give me a few more followers. Go ahead and at me then. But yeah, Damian Lillard said something very interesting though. He said something very interesting when after the Olympics was over with. He was saying how the foreign players play a lot harder in the Olympics than they do in the actual NBA. It was interesting that he said that because it's like in my head, the first thing that I thought was I'll play harder for my country than I will for my paycheck. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't really necessarily say that because, you know, you go overseas and you got like some of those, I won't say worst players, but players that didn't quite make it in the NBA. And they're over there just like freaking deities to these people. Like Stephon Marbury got a freaking statue over there in China. You know what I'm saying? So not saying that he was trash, but, you know, he didn't have the career that he would have liked to have in the NBA. He goes over to China and just like balls out, and now they got a statue of him over there. So it's like, you know, and like we were saying earlier, a lot of these players from the NBA are from overseas. So like you go into the Olympics and you got a lot of the players that they were playing against in the NBA, they're averaging like, 5 points a game. But come the Olympics, it's like, yo, I'm out here averaging 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I think there's 2 points you made here. The first I strongly disagree with is Stephon Marbury was a phenomenal player in the NBA for a certain period of time. It wasn't as long. And I think what he did is instead of playing later into his years in the NBA, the level the NBA plays, he saw an opportunity to get a shoe deal, get a lot more money, play at a higher level, play with more longevity, and kind of expand his brand. And so I think that's the story behind Stephon Marbury. But to your point about not playing as hard, I think it's just very different. Number one, a lot of the foreign players that are in the NBA are in the NBA as a byproduct of the systems, those systems in those different countries that brought them up. A lot of the players that they're playing with on these teams, on these Olympic teams and stuff like that, they've been playing with these people since, they were 12 years old and up. And so they have a camaraderie, they have an affinity, and they're going to fight a little harder for each other kind of doing that as well. Then I would also say some players, not all, aren't in the same role or position as they are in the NBA, meaning they're not getting the same amount of minutes, the ball's not getting in their hand to do certain things. So, yeah, there's a different enthusiasm as well because it's a game, it's a business, whereas the Olympics is all for bragging rights and gold, silver, and bronze. And so you're going to play a little bit different for that. But there's definitely players like, Patty Mills was doing his thing and balling. They still had some of the Gasol brothers kind of rolling up in those things. They, I think Argentina had the Scolas up in there kind of doing their thing as well. And they're older players that are kind of nixed out of the NBA based on age, abilities, and stuff like that. But they're still, representing their countries, and some have medaled, thinking of Spain as well, being able to be older and kind of being, not NBA ready any longer. So I think it was kind of cool to see people do those things.
Yeah, it definitely was, and it to your point. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm gonna make it clear. I did not say Stephon Marbury was trash by any means. I just said he possibly did not have the career that he would have liked to have in the NBA. Everything after his NBA career probably went the way. I mean, making money. The man has a statue. Isaiah Thomas still don't got no statue, but Stephon Marbury does. So But no. That is 100% true. Like I feel like I think a lot of those players, for playing for a few weeks versus playing the whole NBA schedule is a whole different. You know what I'm saying? Like that plays a factor into it too. So it's like their body can't, all the travel, all the the back-to-backs and things like that. That probably makes it a lot more difficult to play at that level for that long during the year versus practicing for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, depending on what country it is, for with the team that you're going to be playing with, and then playing for about what was it, like 2-3 weeks, you know. So like that makes a big difference in their level of play. But like you said, there's a lot of systems in the NBA where it's like a lot of these players don't get the opportunities. Like, Evan Fournier probably is like like the second, third option on the. Is he still on the Magic? I don't even know if he's still on the Magic. But I know when he was like number. I don't know where he's at right now, but I know when he was on the when he was in France playing for France, he was the first option. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the first person catching the ball. Well, I would say Luka, but Luka is always like that man wheeled Slovenia into that third place game. But and then like Rudy Gobert, like he's probably, I don't even know if he is a scoring option on the Jazz, but over there in France, he's probably like the third scoring option. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of systems that go into it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that part. I would add one more factor that we didn't really acknowledge, but you maybe you hinted to it in some ways. But it's the rules. NBA has its own rules, and then the Olympic goes by FIBA rules. And so a lot of the foreign players have been playing up in that rule set for so long. They're very, very comfortable doing so. They know the ins and outs of strategies. And a lot of times, the American players, particularly, maybe some others they have to learn those rules pretty quickly, quick download. Now, the game has a lot of synergies, but I think there's some deviations between it and some strategies that you would do, probably particularly towards the end of the game, that could, kind of put you in a position to win or lose.
Yeah, man. No, I completely agree. Completely agree. Same somewhat topic, switching gears a little bit though. Let's go to this track and field in the Olympics, where Allison Felix is now the most decorated track and field Olympian of all time. I know. How does that make you feel? I know track and field is your thing, Cam. So how does that make you feel?
Much love and respect, and admiration to Allison Felix. She's been in the game a while, been doing it for a while, and has been putting it on. A lot of weight has been on her shoulders, a lot of high expectations since she was young, to come out and represent her city, her town, her people, and her country. And so she's been able to do that, withstanding injuries, some personal moments as well, professional challenges. She started a family as well and really balancing a lot of those things. And so to come and continue to do it, I just got a lot of respect for her. But also to understand and be able to lead from behind. She wasn't the fastest on that team, but maybe she was the most experienced. And so she let others who are younger than her and faster than her, take that role. And she came on and closed it out and kind of led by example as well. So really cool to see. And I think that a lot of these younger athletes, of all shapes and sizes, all events, can look up to her based on the way she handled herself and been able to prove herself and move forward. So, man, shout out to Allison Felix. I had the privilege of seeing her run a few times when I was in college, and exceeded expectations. She puts on the show, really knows how to get the crowd involved and interactive, but also seems like a very down to earth woman. So I appreciate her.
I think that was very dope that she was able to do that, because I saw how she had did she lose like an endorsement from Nike or something like that because she got pregnant or something like that?
Yeah. Different endorsements have different rules, but I think part of the rules were there's just a different pay grade versus your active athlete versus non-active. So I don't think she lost the endorsement, but I think she was kind of demoted. And so allegedly, that's what happened, and they put some news to it. And then since Nike's really changed their policies towards those things, based on her, vocalizing her frustrations with it and having some advocates within the sport, the space, the industry on her behalf as well.
Yeah. I saw another thing in track and field where I don't know their names, but it was two American women. And they were saying since 2019 in their specific event, I don't know if it's like the 100 meter, 200 meter, whatever it was, but since 2019, every time they had a major race, one of them set a world record. Now, I don't know if you saw that because the reason why is like it was two women. Like I think in 2019 there was an event, one of them set the record. The next event later on that year, the other one broke that record. The next event in 2020, I think one of them the next one broke that record. So then in the Olympics, they said whenever they're both in the same race together, they break the record. Technically, both of them have broke the standing record, but of course, one of them, when one has to win, one has to lose.
We'll hold it.
It was interesting to me to see, and I don't know how I feel, because when I saw that, the first thing I thought, I was like, this woman broke the world record and still came in second. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Like, if you break a world record and still don't win?
Yeah. So for our listeners out there, Jason's referencing Sydney McLaughlin and Delilah Muhammad, just two really strong, outstanding athletes. And they've been competing amongst each other, probably for the last, they're 21 years old. They probably did AAU track together. They've been going through the circuit. And so they're pretty familiar with each other, and they push each other. And it's a healthy competition for what I'm seeing as well, but also their teammates. And so I definitely love that balance. But when you're fast like that and someone's just as fast as you, it's really about who gets out, who's more comfortable. I would say Sydney McLaughlin has a faster kick towards the end, while Delilah Muhammad is she can more sustain a higher speed throughout the whole race and distance, especially with like the 200, maybe the 400 as well. And so, it's a mind game as well. You got to know how to strategize against, your opponent, but also the field.
Yeah, you said something that I was just like a kick at the end. Like, wait a minute, this is like, what is that a track term, or is that just
it's a track term for, hey, you're sustaining, but you got a little bit more to boost on and kind of really get it going. And, a lot of other athletes may not necessarily have that in their toolkit to be able to take it to another notch, those last 50 meters of a race. And so, or 100, depending on what the race is, right? And so coming off those turns, people are really trying in there. They're leaning, coming out. If you come out strong and be able to take it up another notch, I think that that's the reason why a lot of athletes are very successful.
Man, yeah, that I like to call it. I'm sure a lot of other people like to call it this too. The fifth gear. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it.
Yep.
The fifth gear. Nah, yeah, man. But Olympics was dope. Olympics was dope. But I'll say so. There's some local stuff that's going on here on stateside. You know, I'm gonna get national, then we're gonna get local. I don't know if you saw this, but I read an article where they were asking that they're accepting volunteers for people to live in a 3D constructed habitat that is supposed to resemble the surface of Mars for a year, right? Yeah, they want you to stay there for a year. Now the one thing one of the keywords I saw was volunteer. So you asked me to stay there for free, you know. But right. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna uproot me for a year for free. But I looked at the criteria. You know, they're asking for a very specific person. Because they say you had to have a master's in either math, a master's degree in either math, computer science, or engineering. Also had to have 2 years of pilot's experience. And you also had to be between the ages of 30 and 35 and in good physical shape. Now, my question to you, Kev. Let's assume you have a master's in, let's say, math. You know what I'm saying? Because that just sounds like something that you would probably get into. You know, you get a math. That would be a dope degree. After watching Manifest, I don't know if you watch Manifest, but after watching Manifest, having a math degree sounds like something dope because my man was solving issues very quickly with just numbers. So let's assume you have a math degree. You have 2 years pilot's experience. You know what I'm saying? Let's assume, you are between 30 and 35. And let's assume that your knees ain't as bad as you say they are, right? Would you uproot and go there for a year? Would you volunteer to do that for a year?
I just want to replay this in my mind. This is how I'm thinking of it. As you said earlier, they want you to volunteer. So to me as well, that sounds like they want something free labor. Mm-hmm. Also, or free, just free, right? It's free. You're gonna be there for free. Hopefully they're feeding me multiple meals and snacks, things of that nature.
Ain't no kitchens on Mars, dog.
Absolutely. But then when you look at the job spec requirements, you know what I'm saying, like the must-haves, college degree with a master's degree in math or science or something like that, a piloting experience and stuff like that. It sounds like they want to put you to work as well. So number one, I'm gonna be there for free, and you're gonna work me, and I'm probably about to be getting some subpar food. So it doesn't sound super appealing to me in those ways. What it really sounds like is an elitist version of the movie Biodome. I don't know if you've ever heard of that movie, but
I've never seen it.
Stephen Baldwin, Joey Lauren Adams. I think it came out about 1996. I definitely watched that. It was one of those movies that came on TV for free on TBS and TNT all the time on the weekend, and I definitely spent some time watching it with snacks. But back to my answer, I do not think I would be partaking in this experience. I would also add that it doesn't feel like very inclusive requirements, I would say. I don't know many, I haven't met and haven't experienced just many persons of color or of non-traditional means that are math majors or science majors who are also have 2 years worth of piloting experience. That just sounds like, and then you have a grad degree, sounds like a lot of debt, or you have a lot of privilege to be able to get in these programs to kind of do these things. The good physical shape, I think that's very fair for most people. However, if you're in a food desert, you may not be able to have this experience. What was the other requirement, sir?
You got to be between the ages of 30 and 35.
Between the ages of 30 and 35. Now, most people between the ages of 30 and 35 are married or having children or kind of starting families there. So you're really digging it down there. So I don't know what the candidate pool is going to look like in this. However, I wouldn't be involved in myself. I would renegotiate the terms for the most part. I need some pay. Not a math major or science major, but I did do political science, and so I could really help organize and lead the group to make movements, build relationships, and build community.
Yeah, no, that's a hard no for me. First of all, we have no business going to Mars. There's nothing up there for us. You referenced the movie Biodome. I'm going to reference the movie Mission to Mars. Mars Attacks. Ain't nothing good up there for us. Every time we do a movie that go to Mars, there's only one person that comes back, if that. So yeah, that and that's just Hollywood. But real life, what are we gonna do up there? You know what I'm saying? It's like all these different images that they say they have on Mars, but it's like, well, they trying to build an actual like live action, like a mall on Mars or something like that. There's no reason for us to be up there in space. We need to leave. The space and the ocean are two things that we just need to leave alone. Just leave them alone. Like keep the ocean clean and safe. Respect the water and respect space. Just leave it alone.
I'm okay with exploration of space and definitely the ocean. That's a priority number one for me is the ocean. I'm definitely good with that, but I definitely would attach some ethics and some morals with it. But I do think this is a cool experiment, though. All lightheartedness aside, I think this is definitely cool. I would challenge them on the specifications of persons being involved a little bit better, different attributes as well, because we don't want. I wouldn't want in my experimentation here. Group thought or people from the same backgrounds and experiences. And so hopefully they're making sure they add elements of diversity to it. But curious to learn more about it. So bookmark that story. Let's come back to it in a few months.
Yeah. I want to address something that you said, Kev. You said that we definitely need to explore the ocean. I'm going to tell you something right now. Kev. There's one tangible thing on this entire planet, one physical entity on this planet that I am afraid of, and it is the ocean. We don't need to go down there. To this day, when we were younger, they said we've only explored 5% of the ocean. I'm 32 now. 32. You know how much more of the ocean they explored? 4%. We only explored 9% of the ocean. It's too much. And now there's a bunch of new animals come popping up out of nowhere, just washing up ashore that ain't nobody ever seen before. And it's like, come on now. There's too much down there. Don't mess with it. I'm trying to tell you right now. That's one thing. I'm like terrified and fascinated by it at the same time, because I'll watch anything on National Geographic and just be like staring at it. Like, oh, I can't stop watching it. But I would never go there. But the funny thing is, I've been on cruises. I'll go to the beach. I would never scuba dive. That's not happening. I never scuba dive. What's that one movie where that one thing they do when they put you in a cage and let the sharks swim around you? I pass out in the cage. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna just be sitting there floating.
I mean, it sounds like you're not exploring the ocean. It sounds like you're not exploring the ocean, but I'll definitely send a proxy for you and me. I didn't say I would be doing it personally. I got respect for the ocean. I respect its dangers and its blessings as well. But I definitely am up for people who are into that to do it. Bring me back to research, and we can figure it out.
Hey man, more power to them. I'll read the articles and watch the shows, but you will never ever in life see me diving into the ocean with flippers on. Like, man, even the animals you think are nice are vicious. Like, did you know that dolphins are very aggressive?
I mean, I haven't had that experience with dolphins. I mean, not that I've really had many experiences with dolphins, but in the
I'm about to say, like you said, like you and dolphins be hanging out every weekend.
No, I've been into some kind of ocean boarding land, and got to be in the same area as some dolphins, but I'm not in the wild or doing those type of things. I understand my limitations and my interests, and so I kind of keep it towards those things, but also down to challenge myself and do something new. And whether it may not be for me, it may be for the people around me. and things like that. I think that it's good to kind of press out. And so I learned a little bit more, can be more worldly and expansive. You have a daughter. I definitely don't want her to be locked into your mentality. I want her to explore and challenge the world, and she can use her knowledge and her spirit to kind of give more blessings to mankind.
And listen, if that's what she want to do, that's what she want to do, and she can come back and tell me all about it. But me, you will not. When you get a chance, look up the football fish. They just found it like earlier this year.
Okay.
And it literally randomly washed up on shore. Nobody had seen it before. Not where it was at. And then so I used to do a show. I might bring it back. I used to do a little web series called Next Week Tonight. It was where me and there's another comedian named Kevin Johnson. Shout out Kev. We would. It was almost like weekend update on Saturday Night Live. But what I liked about it is it actually made me do some research to find like stories to make jokes about. And I found a story where they said like in Antarctica, they found like, 15 undocumented species under like 100 or not 100. It's like a 2-mile thick sheet of ice or something like that. Or like a mile thick sheet of ice. And at the bottom of it, they found like 15 species that one, they had never seen before, but two, according to how science is supposed to work, they're not supposed to be alive in that spot because it was too far away from any open water to get to it, like any nutrients from the open water to get to it. I'm just like, this is too much. It's just the ocean is.
But to your point earlier, people have only discovered 5%, up to 9% now, right? And so we're making a lot of decisions, opinions based on only knowing a modicum of the amount of the world that we know. And so we're building algorithms based off inconclusive or incomprehensive data. We need bigger sample sizes. And so that exploration really helps us understand what it is, what it isn't, what the rules are. We're changing our rules. And science has a lot of rules that are there and very ripe. And there's a good opportunity to break them.
Well, see, here's a problem. And first of all, I like that word modicum. I'm gonna steal it. But here's the problem. The reason why a lot of the ocean has not been like explored yet is because we physically can't get there. Like the pressure is too much pressure. It's too much there's only so much you can go down where other living creatures are down there, but like they try to send I don't want to say submarine, but like, some sort of vehicle or piece of equipment down there, and the water pressure is just too high, and it won't be able to be able to transmit back, or it will come back damaged. And so I'm like, when it comes to those depths, you're not supposed to be there. Like that's the reason we can't get there. We're not supposed to. Like, let's splash around on the beach. Oh yeah, that's fun. Maybe get on your little boat, your little speedboat. But once you get out there, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Yo, you know what? Speaking of species, though, I saw that in Detroit, some woman on Greenfield. It was probably 6 or 7 miles of Greenfield because that feels like that's the area something like that will happen in. She had a hyena up in these streets. And so have you read the story? You heard about this?
So I heard about it. So Channel 7, WXYZ Channel 7 have reported that there's a man in, I want to say it was in Dearborn or something like that, was selling hyenas. And they were saying, like, be careful if you got a dog. Well, a lady had posted, if you got a dog from this man, it's not a dog, it's a hyena. Watch out if you see it jumping long distances and all that stuff. Channel 7 has since then, Channel 7 has since then took the video, the story down because they said it was a hoax. It was a hoax. They said it was not. They took it off their website. They said it actually was a dog. It was just, a odd colored one. Now, after reading that though, like, I started thinking about there used to be a pet store in Livonia. It was called Exotic Pets. And they sold a lot of pets that you would not find anywhere. Like they sold monkeys, they sold alligators, they sold what else? It was some big old lizard that they sold. And we always wanted to get an alligator for some reason. Me and John, we always wanted to get an alligator. They sold all kinds of different snakes or whatever the case may be. But it got me to thinking. That's what the hyena got me to thinking. Like a hyena would not be a pet that I wanted out of all the exotic species of animals I can get. What animal, if you can have any animal as a pet, any exotic animal, or even if it's domesticated, you're just a simple man, what kind of animal would you want?
I think for me, it would probably be some type of primate-ish type species. So I go with some type of monkey, maybe gorilla. I kind of want something to have a little bit more like similar characteristics and features as me, so we can like, hey, we both throw the hoodies on, you know what I'm saying? Throw the fitted on type situation. Hey, you know, you need some ice water. It's hot outside. Here we go. And kind of go from there. But it still kind of has the animal swag to it. That's
with the animal swag though?
You know, maybe we'll wear some bathing ape, you know, like something
That's
like that.
funny.
So I think I would probably go that way. Nothing that is going to keep me out of the lifestyle. You know, pets, the thing about pets is, number one, they're expensive. Their vet bills are crazier than human bills probably in some ways. And then, you know, food, and you got to come home and walk them and let them pee, and they're going to tear up your house. So I want something that's going to be trained itself, can potty train itself, kind of do a lot of those things. Don't stink, you know what I'm saying? And can kick it and cool it with the homies.
I hear you, but me, so I'm not scared of any land animal. That he said something I kick it with the homies. But I'm not afraid of any land animal. However, I know enough about monkeys at this point in my life to know that monkeys, especially the small ones, are homicidal. They are murderers and they are crazy. The big ones, not so much. Gorillas are not so much. I don't know if I told you this, but I found out that every zoo has a KOS list. So any animal that breaks out of its enclosure, they have a list of animals that are killed on sight. Like as soon as it breaks out, like kill it immediately, because tranquilizers ain't gonna do nothing but get it upset. Ironically, gorillas are not on that list, so you know you're good on that. I don't think orangutans are on that list either. Lions, tigers, and bears are not on that list because they try to preserve the big cats. They try to tranquilize them, preserve them. Just you know, I don't know, give them behavioral therapy or something like that, and send them back.
What are they killing them?
Chimpanzees are on almost every zoo's kill on sight list because even though they're little, tranquilizers don't do nothing but piss them off, and then they start mauling people's faces.
Okay.
So yeah, and there's other smaller monkeys. I don't know if it's a Napoleon complex with the monkeys, but chimpanzees or small monkeys are very they're very childish and dangerous. Me personally, you said something that made me change my mind. I had something in my head, but then you said, you know, the grooming and the upkeep and the vet bills and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to take a rhinoceros to the veterinarian. So I got to change my answer now.
You gotta get a different vehicle too.
Right. I'm like, I don't even know if we got needles that can penetrate a rhinoceros' skin. You know, everybody, I don't want to do the cliche, you know, big cat, you know, like lion or tiger or puma or something like that. I really don't want to be cliche and say that. But if they're like anything like smaller cats, they probably are very, I don't want to say self-maintenance, but I feel like they might be able to be trained to some degree. I'll probably think that any animal that is in the circus is that they can train. I mean, of course, some of them have turned on the circus people, but any animal that's been trained to perform in the circus will probably be easier, not easy, but easy to maintain and keep at home. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I probably one of them. Although if I had a bird that listened to me, like a big like hawk or falcon or eagle that did anything, like if I could train that, man, if you had a hawk on your shoulder or an eagle and falcon on your shoulder, somebody trying to run away, like get them. That falcon just fly up and then just dive down and hit them in the back. Yeah, I'd be a boss.
Yeah,
I'd be a boss. But yeah,
I want to revisit the hyena thing. So, in doing our research about this, I did see that hyenas aren't illegal animal to have in Michigan. So, in Michigan, as a general state law, it's fine to have a hyena. However, different municipalities or cities have their own rules, and so within the city of Detroit, hyenas are not allowed. I think probably got enough human hyenas around these streets as well.
Right.
So we can only handle only so many.
So now I guess we thinking, where are they legal at? Like up in the UP or something like that?
Think of a rural area. Honestly, I can't really say many off the top of my head. So let's just say northern Michigan, somewhere like that. Places like that where there's a lot more land. People own. I would say the square footage per person is a lot greater than it is in a more densely populated place and city. So there's less interaction with other folks and pupils and stuff like that. So probably areas like that. So I wouldn't know where, but I know that the state doesn't really eliminate it. But I know probably they just left it to cities to kind of say like yay or nay. And probably most cities say nay. There may be a few that say yay.
Yeah, it's probably like one city that has hyenas legal. It's like one small little corner of the state. But yeah, that's
but also, our state has a natural habit. I don't know if they're natural actually, but foxes inhabit our land. There are wolverines. There are other different animals, and so having a hyena can help protect your flock of or your.
Well, the hyena can eat the flock.
yeah, you can do that too. But it can protect some species that you're raising on your like land. You know what I'm saying? You're cultivating. Maybe you're using part of their skin or their furs or kind of whatever that is, or whatever they're producing as well. And so it could be another reason to that, or it could just be a historical reason. A lot of places are very symbolic with their laws or rules for traditional sakes, and so maybe there's something there. But I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, no, from what I've learned, so there's a dude I follow on TikTok. I can't even pronounce his name, but he does a lot of animal facts, which I'm also fascinated by those things. And he says a lot of things about hyenas, and it's just like, yo, these hyenas ain't no joke. Like the more I watch this page, and the older I get and learn more about other animals, I be sitting here like, lions really ain't nothing. Lions the least of your worries in the jungle. It's supposed to be the king of the jungle. It's like lions ain't like tigers, gorillas, chimpanzees, freaking hippos. Oh my God. Hippos are probably they're as big as a tank, and they just destroy things for no reason. Like you just be there, and they said there's I think he said like 500 in Africa alone. There's 500 people who die by hippo attacks a year. And that's probably, he said the number probably higher, but don't nobody, they just didn't find the bodies. So it's like,
I would say the hippo attacks, never mind, I won't say that. Hopefully the hippos are going after people that are going after them, is what I would say.
No, they're not. Them hippos going after anybody. They are a menace, and they must be contained. I don't want to say stop because it's going to sound, I don't want PETA all over me, but they must be contained. But yeah, man. Well, I mean, we talked about a lot today. We got a lot of stuff out there. Kev, what you got going on coming up?
Coming up, not much is really happening. I know in the next couple of weeks, the second largest state fair in the country, the Minnesota State Fair, will be happening. So I will be blessing it with my attendance to get a lot of the fried foods, the snacks, the subpar artists and all those type of things. It's a good vibe. Typically, I typically like to go later at night versus during the day. But I know that growing up in Michigan, we had a state fair, and I didn't really like going because it was very subpar. And so now that I'm going to one like this, it's kind of something to get up and do and go for. So I'll be going to that over the next couple of weeks. It lasts about 2 or 3 weeks. So that'll be really cool. I'll make sure I kind of provide you a little bit more information on it. And just for reference, the Texas State Fair is the #1 state fair in the country. Now, I don't know who's rating these things, but that's just what they say. So kind of like National Chicken Day. I don't know who made it National Chicken Day, but we all generally accept that it's National Chicken Day, so we go get some chicken. I think same type of rules and principles apply. But I'm looking forward to that, man. I will say the Delta variant is real out here in these streets, and so a lot of places and spaces are reverting back to peak pandemic practices. So mask up, man. Stay safe. Understand your spaces and places that you're within. Be cordial to others. I know it can be frustrating. Lines can be long. It's not the most pleasant experience. Nothing that we've been used to. But we're doing it for each other as well. So trying to citizen within it. But also we all need to find balance and to find breaks too. And so find yourself within that. But protect yourself. If you are vaccinated, have conversations, be open with others about your status if you feel comfortable doing so. And if you're not, please do the same thing as well. No judgments either way. I understand there's a lot of uncertainty rolling through. And so I just want everyone to be safe, healthy, and just protect our communities. You can find me on IG at Hercules Jackson and on Twitter at _KevB_.
All right. Shoot, I got stuff coming up. I got a comedy show in Mishawaka, Indiana on the 17th. I also have a show in Flint, Michigan on the 22nd. And I got a show on September 18th. I got shows. I'm gonna start posting them in a second. I promise y'all I'm gonna start posting my shows. And I got a video I posted. I got a skit I posted yesterday. And as of like 10 minutes ago, I needed 5 more views to get to 1,000. So somebody go watch. I need 5 people to go watch this video I put on Instagram, so I can get these organic views. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, shoot, I'm about to have to stop taking clients. That's a blessing. I'm like 5 clients away from a waiting list in a minute.
Okay. Amen.
So that's dope. But other than that, I'm gonna be out here just doing what I do. Still working on the comedy compilation. So y'all can look out for that. That's probably gonna be out around December or January. Because it's gonna take me till November to actually film it. So But if y'all are on here already, you know where to find me on YouTube or Facebook because it's spelled the same way, spelled just like this right here, spelled just like that. If you are on Instagram, it is spelled just like that, except there's no spaces. And I would say find me on TikTok, but the talk has been irritating me lately, so I think I might stray away from the talk. It's been irritating me and a lot of other content creators. We'll get into that maybe next time about TikTok has been playing a lot of content creators as of late. And people are really trying to move on over, take their talents to Instagram on South Beach. So but thank y'all for watching. If you guys want a topic you want us to cover or whatever, hit me up, DM me. We also still got the Greetings and What Up Though t-shirts for sale. DM me for one of them. And then also, if you would like to be a sponsor of the Jason Jamerson Podcast, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We can talk sponsorship packages. Other than that, y'all, like Kev said, y'all be safe. This Delta variant is out here, so make sure y'all, if you feel like you need to mask up. Even if you don't feel like you need to mask up, you probably should mask up anyway. But be safe, and Peace out. Until next time.